What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Flash fan? No, I'm not wearing sunglasses to look cool. It's because it's real flashy outside, and my eyes do not like it. They're like, let's have a season. I know, I know, Flash fan. You're the only one here. Gabby's here though. So I was gonna go ahead and do a ask me anything because my mom's not here to regulate it. Shut up, Gabby. But yeah. So I was gonna wait for people to come over. If they came over, great. If they did not, I was gonna go ahead and end it. Getting real flashy over here. Um, if anybody has any questions to ask, go ahead and do it now. Well, my mom cannot regulate this. And also, I was gonna talk about some things with the Discord that we got going on things that I forgot to talk about in the earlier stream. Thank you. Um, Whenever I was talking about Miss Doss, um, there's a video that I'm either myself or Gabby will post. I'm gonna try to convince Gabby to post it. Please don't ask me to do anything on Discord because I don't know how to do anything on Discord. Um, but there's a really cool video with the Miss Doss case that I was talking about earlier today. That it's a interview with the detective, and it's like one of the very few ones that were filmed, and you can see just her reaction, how she talked. But the other thing I forgot to talk about um, while I was doing the stream was what her aliases were. So Miss Doss was called. She's notorious for being the giggling grandma and the giggling granny. And why that is because once she was arrested, she couldn't stop laughing. Like she would just anytime that she did any sort of a police interrogation or police interview or anything like that, and even in trial, like in court and stuff like that, she just laughed and laughed and laughed. So she is like, I think it's the giggling grandma, the Lady Bluebeard, the Black Widow, the Lonely Hearts Unaliver, and a couple others. And yes, man, Gabby said I made a channel in Discord under the chat about a case called Granny. So, watch your grannies. Your grannies might not just be giving you chocolate, they might be giving you prunes. And if your granny comes up to you and says, "Hello, my sweetheart, you want some prunes?" I don't know why they're British, but it just sounds right. Nothing to the Brits. But hello, my sweetheart, you want some prunes? I wouldn't eat it. Like I said, nothing to the Brits. The Black Widow is Florida, isn't it? So there is two different Black Widows, Flash fans. So that is Black Widow. I want to say 2.0 because I believe that she was after the giggling grandma. But you have, I mean, correct me on that because I know there's another one, and I know that's what she was more famous for. Like that particular person was more famous for being the Black Widow. Like that was her signature name. My signature name is Tom Cruise. Brought to you by YouTube Daddy. And brought to you by things I can't say because I don't sponsor them. If you want to sponsor me, you can. But yeah, no, we just popped over here from Ada's YouTube Daddy. Yeah, Flashbang. Yeah. So she got arrested in 1955 in Oklahoma. So I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember. I can't remember her like their exact case. But go ahead and post that crap in. Go ahead and post it in Discord if you want, or it can be like, "F you guys, keep it on to myself." But yeah, no, I just want to pop on for Ada's chat. Um, See if they would pop over here. If not, that's okay. We got storms like a mofo. Yes, you are posting Tom Cruise in Discord. Oh, then don't say shit. Then don't say it. Don't say anything. If that's one of your people that you're doing for our serial unalivers, keep it to yourself. Is it about Gabby? She's a black widow. So, like I said, just want to pop on here real quick. Gabriella Cinderella or Flash Fan my band? Flash Fan my band, I guess. Is that Flash Fan my band? Do you guys want to hop on? I can send y'all a link and you can. We can talk about some things. But like I said, just hopping on for un momento, por favor. It's not how you say that, but you want to hop on? All right. Phone. Let me text my madre. Yeah, Gabby, we can definitely wait for your message. Give me 1 second, Fleshman. Ed, give me 1 second. Hello? All right. I'm gonna send y'all a email in just a second. Eda, so I decided that we are gonna do another round two because my mom's not here and she's not watching because she's dealing with my dogs and she's got super baby right now. So therefore we're gonna do round two. Ask me anything. My mom's not here to censor it. Gabby, I'm really trying to send this to you, and it's not working. Gabriella Cinderella, will you forward this to Flashman? Because, like I said, I don't know how things work. I'm not tech savvy, as you know. Um, just forward that, Cinderita. Thank you. So, alright, we're gonna do a Ask Me Anything. You guys got firewood. Let me see what so and so's doing. Come on, Flashman, let's go. You can do it. So what else you guys want to know? I have really bad storms coming. Like I said, I told my mom, I'm like, listen, I'm hacking your Discord, and that's just, or not Discord. Well, I guess Discord and stream, and that's what we're gonna do. And we'll just wait and wait on people, and that's what it will be. Gabriella. Oh, Flashman's right there. My bad, bro.
You good? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still getting used to using this app. I don't know how some of this stuff works sometimes.
I don't either. And my mom was like, "You can do it." I was like, "Yeah, okay." What's
Yeah,
up?
it was a great stream. I wish I got there earlier, but I was asleep. I woke up around like 12 something. I looked, it's like AJ been streaming for 50 something minutes. I'm like, ooh, okay, I missed that.
Yeah,
I was
nah, you're good, man. I just winged it. Like I got off work and I was like, man, I need to get this done. And um, like I was thinking about doing it tomorrow, but like I mean, same reason I got sunglasses on now. Like we have really bad storms coming in,
Oh wow.
and so like all the flashes and stuff, which is why I got sunglasses on. Um, I wasn't quite sure if I'm gonna have power tomorrow
Oh
to do it
yeah.
because we got about like 60 to 75 mile an hour wind gusts coming in.
Sheesh. That's why I'm
Um,
glad I live in DC. We don't get hit by all that stuff. It's rare we get rain, but it's rare we get anything powerful. We got power a couple of weeks ago, but it was something the power company was doing.
yeah, no, we get. Well, it's just like, oh, look, flat land. Let's have a tornado. What's up, Gabriella Cinderella?
Hey, Gab.
Oh, I was wondering why I kept getting like a echo. It was because I was playing it also on YouTube.
Yeah, I got my chat pulled up on another device, but I just turned the sound down and muted.
Yeah, that's what I just had to do because I was like, where's this coming from?
Who cares? No, I just basically hacked my mom's stuff, and I was like, well, she's not here, so let's do it. Ask me anything. I'm not
What
even
her?
gonna say almost anything.
What?
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
ask me anything.
she always be like almost anything.
Yep. Oh, this is the ask me anything.
You didn't even answer my question. Rude.
What was your question?
Tom, so what is it like to be a movie star?
You know,
Yeah,
I
what's
just
all
like to
this
fly
Tom Cruise
planes.
business?
I just like to fly planes, and I just it's just Top Gun, Top Gun, Top Gun, and you know, you know
Because
how it is.
Flash fan, she looks like Tom Cruise from Top Gun with the
Oh,
sunglasses and the army green color.
Top Gun. Isn't that movie that O.J. Simpson played in?
Oh my
Was
lord,
it? I don't
I'm
even
about to throw
know.
these away. I
Top
won't
Was he
even.
in that movie? I can't even remember
No,
now.
nope.
OJ
Wrong
Simpson.
one. Wrong
OJ
one.
Simpson?
That's Naked Gun. Wrong one.
I was gonna say
Oh,
OJ Simpson
yeah.
was in a movie.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
actually,
don't
he
watch movies.
wasn't he in like I think he was in like a few. Oh no, I'm thinking of Mike Tyson.
I was gonna
Because
say that's
Mike
Mike
Tyson
Tyson
was
was in the
in
movie?
he
if
was
he
in
talks if he talks proper or if he talks like, "Hi, my name is Mike Tyson, and
Oh yeah.
I just
The-
I'm the world boxing champion and I'm a heavyweight champion of the world, and like I knock a motherfucker out, and that's Mike Tyson. But if
No, but
he's
he
like
was
the
wasn't
glove
he
doesn't
in
fit, that's
Hangover? He was in that movie The Hangover.
yeah, cause he was like,
Yeah.
I'm so
He
sorry,
like beat them all up.
I'm so sorry, come here.
She's scared dog. You scared the dog?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You want to say hi? Look, people can see you.
Aw. Hi puppy. Oh my goodness, look who it is.
What up, Daddy? Did you find some milk?
Papa.
What's up, old man Zach?
All right, I'm gonna mute. I'll be right back.
No, you won't. That's what
Yeah.
Zach says.
I just gotta take the ham out the oven, all right?
I just gotta go to the grocery store to get some milk.
She
29
cooking her
years later.
dinner one day later.
Zach, I'm the only mod in chat right now, so I can either choose to accept it or not.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'll be on my phone. I'll be able to hear you guys still.
Zach Daddy, you can come have a chat with us. We're just bull crapping around. This is what happens when you hack your mom's stream. That sounds weird. I didn't. Oh Lord.
She gonna see that lady like, what happened?
You be like, what? Hey, do you want to hop in? You can hop in anytime.
I'll be on stream with some famous YouTubers. Actually, I'm already am. You and Gabby are probably famous YouTubers more than I am. Y'all be doing
Man, I hope not. People be asking me all the time, like, how do I do this in Discord? I'm like, I don't even know how to open Discord.
I
Like,
know certain people have made me an admin in a Discord. Like you know just like you probably shouldn't have done it because I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, you can't do very much on the iPad anyway. So I'm like, you
what?
better having Gabby than me.
Yeah. No, Gabby's super smart. All right, Zach Daddy. I better see you there. I called all the stores in Texas, and they all have milk. So you can do your business calls as you may like. Like I said, Ada, if you want to hop in, I'll let you hop in. Like I said, we're just chatting. So you got a serial unaliver that you're doing, right?
Yeah, I'm doing the Freeway Phantom, and the crazy part about this guy or individual, I say guy, but we don't know. There's been some suspects, but the Freeway Phantom in DC is 71 to 72 was never caught.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I blame the investigation. I'll give a little teaser, not to get to the case, but 1971, 1972, 6 African American females, teenagers. So I kind of suspect why that what it's all.
But yeah. Do you ever get fever blisters in your nose? In other words, do you ever have herpes like me? No, Jack, I don't. You have to ask my mother.
What the world?
I don't know if it's genetic. I don't think herpes is genetic. But I've never had any sores on my lips. I was trying real hard not to be inappropriate there, but my smile gave it away.
Zach had that effect on people.
He has that effect.
I've been in chat with him since January. He corrupted me by now. I used to be in chat. Only thing I used to say in chat was, "Hey, how's everybody doing?" That'd be it. That was a different story.
So, no, I'm super excited about this serial unaliving series that we're doing.
Yeah.
I tried to kick it off today. I felt super unprepared, and it's just it's hard when you have somebody that just unalives so many people at once.
That's like when I get to I'm thinking about doing a Baltimore case where the guy turned his victims into burgers. I'm like, that's gonna be a hard one.
Yeah.
Really is. He sold them. What?
Yeah.
That say Flash Man used to acquire.
Hey, don't feel too bad. We got a coworker. His name's Coop. Wait, his last name's Cooper, but I call him Coop. I corrupted him. He's a good old choir boy when he met me, and now he's corrupted. Like I can't say it on YouTube, but what he said the other day, I looked at him and I was like, "What did you just say?" And he repeated it, and I was like, "I was giving you a chance to not say that again." And he was like, "At that, if I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna be about it." And I was like, "All right." I can't be mad at that.
People in my family, believe it or not, I'm the most mild mannered person in my family. Only time I really get angry is when people I care about get talked about.
And that's how Coop is. He is a gentleman to a T. Until you talk about somebody he cares about. And it's not, obviously just talking about like if you cross them. Yeah. He's a gentleman to a T until you cross somebody he cares about. Then you're going to see a whole different side of Coop. And I can't be mad at him. Like, I'm not going to address it. And it's just, you know what, Coop, do your thing.
me, me and Gabby were talking a few months ago. That's like Carmen seems like she's a mild mannered person. She started laughing. I'm like, oh well, I take that as a no then.
No, I'm pretty mild mannered. I have not been mild mannered the past couple of weeks. I've been so tired and just very on edge. Like things at work, it's just been nonstop, and I've had a zero tolerance for things.
Yeah.
Like things that I thought that I had a zero tolerance for, like I really have had a zero tolerance for. But it's not really been the people that break the law. It's been more so people that wear the same badge that I do. And like
Always, always tell
okay.
people I don't. Always tell people I don't like cops, but I'm like they're an exception.
Yeah. Like well, like my sergeant and my lieutenant, I had to tell them before they even called me into the office because I knew they were going to. And I just looked at them. I'm like, if you get a complaint on if Chrissy said that, which I know I'm not supposed to say my last name on here, but that's what I go by. Um, yeah, yeah, I said it. Like, you don't have to call me into the office. Don't question if I said it. I definitely said that. Sorry. I'm not sorry, but you know,
Yeah,
it just, I don't.
it's kind of like that case I found out of Illinois, even though I don't think they're gonna
Hmm.
where the cop took out the African American lady, and I kind of was in the Discord. I was tanning in the cops when I was writing comments. I like, then later on, I reached out to Gavin. Like, feel bad because Carmen's law enforcement. What I look like in the Discord, calling cops idiots for stuff they do. I'm like, now I feel terrible. But she like, I had a
Oh,
few on folks.
no, yeah, don't ever feel bad about that. And it's like if I think that you are just flat out wrong in something, I don't get on Discord a lot, but I do. Let me rephrase that. I don't comment on Discord a lot, but I do watch. And if I just think that you're flat out wrong in something, I will pop right back off at you. I have no problem doing that. But you have never said anything that I could ever say that back to. That I could just ever just pop right back off to and just be like, you know what, you are flat out wrong. And like, I mean, I would never be disrespectful and like call you an idiot, but or anything like that. But there's never been something like you're an idiot, you're flat out wrong. This is what it is. Never.
I just know how I
And,
could come off sometimes, and that's why I'm like, I don't want to say, cause I know I come off aggressive sometimes. Just like, for instance, me and somebody, I won't put the person's name out there, but we was going back and forth in the Discord, and it wasn't antagonistic, it was friendly, but it was with the Menendez brothers, and I was like, after I was like, let me apologize, cause I know sometimes I can come off with my
well,
opinion.
oh, and you're good. I do gotta say hey to Ronnie real quick. Hey Ronnie, thanks for
Oh,
stopping by. Um, and like Gabby said, I'll be the first one to tell you. And I respect absolutely everybody's opinion in things, and um, just because they may be my boys in blue does not mean I mean I back my boys in blue. Do not get me wrong. Those are my ride or dies. They will always be my ride or dies. But with that being said, does not mean I agree with things that they do. It when I say that those are my ride or dies, I'm saying if we're in a shootout, I will give my life for them. So that's what I mean.
yeah.
But it's no different than if it's some random lady on the street. If it's me or her, it's me. And that's to me that's just how I take things. I took an oath And my oath doesn't stop just because I clock out.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of law enforcement that think that way now. And I think of an oath no different than I think of a wedding vow. And you take that vow, when you take that vow, it's not just if your wife or your husband is watching you. It's what you do when they're not.
Yeah.
And that's how I take an oath. It's not what you see when you're watching me. It's what I do when you're not. But I understand.
Have to represent it. Yeah.
Yeah, but 95% of law enforcement is not like that. And I recognize that and I understand it. So don't ever get nervous that you're gonna say something that's gonna piss me off. Or trust me, I'm one of the most understanding people there is, and I'm very mild, like mild minded and level headed. But if there's something that does piss me off, I'll let you know. Like, I have no problem with that. I'll let you know. Like, I was telling my mom and Gabby earlier, I said my lieutenant was like, "You need a few days off?" I was like, "No shit," because I just been on edge. And I looked at there was a coworker of mine, and we were clocking out, and it's where we were clocking out at, like, we need to submit our time so we get paid this Friday. Because we get paid every other Friday. And I watched people like leave without submitting their time. And I was like, well, that sucks for you. And because if you don't, you're not going to get paid. And that's just how our program works. You're going to wait an additional 2 weeks. And yeah, so I was trying to be nice when I walked out, and I was like, hey, y'all, like, don't forget to submit your time. And a coworker that I've had some issues with decided to turn around and say, what, you just think you're the effing sergeant now?
Wow.
Probably some contributing factors here. Like, I was some lack of sleep. I had just worked, like, I think at that particular shift, I had just worked like 16 plus hours. Wasn't having it.
They messed with you the wrong day.
And I just looked at her. I didn't raise my voice. I'm not really one, like I used to be. I used to be one to raise my voice. I am not now. And like, to the extent I will talk more and more quiet to you, the more you yell at me. The more you yell at me, the quieter I will talk to you. And so when you ask me, what the F did you just say? Well, if you shut the F up and stop yelling at me, you'd probably hear what I just said.
My mama used to say that's the most dangerous person, the quiet, angry person that you never know what they're capable of.
Yeah. That's my lieutenant said that. She's like, you are dangerous. I was like, I said, I'm so mild. She's like, yeah, until somebody pisses you off. And so I shouldn't have done it, but it is what it is, and I stand by it. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I stand by it. I looked at my coworker, and I said, I don't give a flying F if you submit your time or not. I am not your sergeant. I am not your lieutenant. I was just trying to be nice. If you get paid or whether you do not get paid, it does not affect my life in the least bit. Thank you. Have a good day.
She telling it like it is.
Yeah. Then she started crying, and I was like, all right.
Oh, what the? Yeah, how you gonna dish it out but can't take it?
And yes, I was just like, all right, Merry Christmas, and I walked out. So then, come the following day, and I was like, and I could just tell because I'm allowed to clock in earlier than my coworkers are due to the position that I'm in. I have to clock in earlier than they do to get the stuff that I need for them to have, but get paid for me to grab it, if that makes sense. And it's basically my job being like, I understand that you need to go over here to grab this stuff to give to your coworkers, so we're gonna let you clock in earlier than them. So I clock in and they clock in. And I turned to them and I was like, what the F are you doing? And she's like, well, you clocked in. I was like, no shit, Sherlock. I have to. And she was like, well, I just thought if you clock in, everybody can clock in. I'm like, when has that been the rule? Okay. And I was like, why do you think this is different than any other day? When I clock in, it's because I have to go get training. If I clock in early, it's because I have to go get training material to give you guys. Or like just whatever. Whatever I have to go get for you guys when we go to our meeting before like we actually like disperse. I have to be able to go get those things but be at our meeting on time. And so we were in a facility and I let an inmate through the door, which I knew where he was going. Like he's somebody that I know. He's just been there a while. So like I knew which dorm he was going to. She didn't know that I knew which dorm he was going to. But so I let him through. She came in, she was like, don't effing let detainees through the door. I fired right back on that speaker. And I was like, well, if you'd be on your effing hall like you're supposed to be, that wouldn't happen.
Karma be destroying people.
And then I hear Lieutenant, I'm not going to say my lieutenant's name on there, but Lieutenant so-and-so to me. I was like, yes. He's like, can you report to the lieutenant's office? I was like, yep. Sure can. But no, she backed me up. She's like, I don't see anything that you did wrong. I was like, I said, this is why I don't have a lot of friends. I'm just gonna tell you how it is. Like, I don't sugarcoat it. I don't care who you are. I'm just gonna tell you. And which has been really fun with these trials. Like Ada and I actually just talked about it with the Ethan Crumpley case.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a little bit difference of opinion on some things, but that's what I like about this is her and I did have a little, like we had some difference of opinion there, but we could sit there, we could talk about it like adults, and it made me think about some things. And that's what I love about this.
Yeah, just like me and people disagree like on Sarah Boone. A lot of people think like, oh, well, she have been made to go pro se for a while. Like, well, she went through 8 attorneys. She wouldn't have had to worry about that. And they like, well, it's unfair. They treat her unfair, and she deserves to not have a right violated. Like, how was her right violated? When is enough enough? Y'all do realize that these people, all these attorneys she getting, is calling the state taxpayer dollars.
Right. So I actually tried to look that up, and it bothers me that it was blocked. I'm like, I got about as high clearance as you can get, but the official was blocked. And I'm like,
I don't know how there's YouTubers who be finding all this stuff that's not. I'm like, how y'all be finding this stuff? And they just regular normal people. I'm like, how do y'all be getting this stuff? They not lawyers or.
So I mean, no, you can get it. I'm talking the official.
Oh.
the official document, not the Bill of Rights, not the U.S. Constitution, not any of that, not when the law was set in place, the revised one. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
What there's a certain section of it it's blurred.
Oh.
And I sent an email. I was like, you want to explain to me why it's blurred? Because I can send you about every document in the books to tell you that there's no reason for that one. And so they unblurred it, and I'm not gonna say what it said because I'm not gonna get myself in trouble. But I do not understand why she had. Let me rephrase that. She's trying not to get myself in trouble here. People that think that her constitutional rights were violated, no, they were not.
Yeah, I mean, both judges, even just going off like the non-official stuff we seen like in the case in general, you had two judges warning her like, look, you don't have an endless amount of lawyers that will be appointed to you. Now, a lot of people said in his order, in Cranick's order, when he was like, you not getting no more, he said when she got the last one before she was forced to go pro se or made to go pro se, in the order it said something like you defendant may not get another attorney. And people like, well, he shouldn't have said may not. He should have said will not. I was like, come on, man. He gotta say that.
Hold on one second. Kelly, they're just talking, they're just chatting
we're
about
not
Sarah Boone. It's not anything specific. It's just a chit chat.
Yeah, think of this as like a members only, but non-members only fun chat.
Yeah, we're just chilling. Like we are literally talking about anything. I hacked my mom's YouTube, so it's a ask me anything without her permission.
Yeah, it's just a hang. It's just a hang sesh.
So, and this is Flashman. This is what I ask people: if it was the Boston Bomber, would you give them the same rights? Would you fight? So not you in particular, the people. Would you fight so hard and say that their constitutional rights were violated? If this was a school pew pew, would you fight so hard and say that their rights were violated? If this was if we did a Columbine all over again, would you say that? No. And it's just
Ronnie, little hacker.
A lot of people pick and choose some people like, oh well, this person's obviously guilty. Some people like, well, no, just like there's a North Carolina case where found this YouTuber from North Carolina. She left a comment on the stream that I was on the first time, and she's like, hey, good stream, whatever. But she's from North Carolina. She's planning on doing the staircase trial at some point, and it came out.
Watched that? Have you ever seen anything with that? It's interesting.
The staircase, that case. He eventually got out of jail on a technicality. He got an offered plea.
Did he? I guess,
yep.
Wow.
Yep. He got 2000. He got granted a new trial in 2011. So apparently, one of the State Bureau of Investigation in North Carolina agents, Dwayne Deaver, or however you pronounce his name, perjured himself on the stand by saying, like, look, I investigated multiple crime scenes and I've done all this. And he was like, what, like blood stain analysis expert, he claimed to be. Apparently he was lying in multiple cases. He got lots of people convicted.
Is that the big ass white guy, like the big ass buff white guy?
I don't know what he looks like. I don't think he's big.
But you know what I'm talking about? So there's a big old buff white guy that he was found, like he was a detective and he was found like I think his like solving rate was like 93, 94% or something like that, something crazy.
Wow.
And then it turns out, no, he was planting DNA to solve his cases. And there was a lot of people that went to jail that should not have went to jail, and they were convicted off of DNA when they weren't even in the vicinity.
I had to look who that is up. I don't know that one. I mean, it's been like
yeah, that guy was messed up. But you're telling me that law enforcement are corrupt? What?
That's why I always make a joke in the Discord how like I tell Gabby all the time, I'm like, I don't trust Massachusetts court. I'm like, I trust certain people from Massachusetts, but I don't trust Massachusetts court rules.
I don't think Massachusetts court trusts Massachusetts court. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Guys, but
No, sorry. It's just the way we are over here.
Like freaking Canton. Like, wow. I don't even know what's going on over there.
We're all crazy.
Every Massachusetts case I see, I'm like, ooh, I'm like, this person looked guilty, but y'all need to prove that to me without fabricating stuff.
I'm playing around with this. I kind of like the round ones.
I do too. So, Flashman, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabriella Cinderella, after he's done answering, or anybody in the chat, how do y'all feel about the mental health that we give? I have to call them detainees by law. Inmates. And no, jobby. I'm not clocked in, so. How do you feel on how we do that?
Like, what do you mean exactly?
Yeah, okay, so I'll go ahead, Flashman.
No, I was saying I need clarification too.
Okay, so I'll start it off. It's shit. We do not have the capacity or ability with the resources that we are given to sorry, someone's shooting. Pew-pewing, sorry. We don't have it. And it's not just where we house them, it's the treatment that we give them. I mean, it starts off right off the bat with where we house them, which is not the best. Like our facility, like we try as hard as we can. And I think a lot of facilities do, but I know there's a lot of facilities out there that do not. My last facility that I worked at, the way that we treated them, I'm ashamed that I ever even worked for that department. And I was a part of that.
Kelly, is your hand raised? Do you have a question?
Yeah, do you have a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, this is my mom's not here. I have to stream, so ask away. But
if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. If we're gonna put more resources to things, and in my opinion, I think that we should put more resource to the mental health side of things and actually address it as it is, not sugarcoat it. Address it as it actually is.
I guess she didn't mean to raise her hand, but the little girl that she did was pretty cute.
Yeah, Kelly, you better ask her.
Now you have to come up with a question, Kelly.
Yeah, freaking.
You already raised your hand.
Yeah. Like I'm stuck on the hand raised now.
So I just think, in general, like mental health is just not treated right in general. across the board, whether it be where you work, a hospital, a group home. I just heard month health problems. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just think that mental health in general isn't treated correctly.
Right. And I think that, I mean, for me personally, I know that I need to do better on that.
Well, the
Or
thing
so,
is, right? The thing is that I feel like for me, like this is just my opinion. I feel like that police officers, correction officers, a lot of, you know,
so you're not including the feds in that.
yes, I am including Tom Cruise from Top Pew Pew. Here we go. I can hear the choppers already. Uh,
Lay it on me.
I don't know exactly how the federal government decides to train their whatever
We
people.
don't.
Exactly my point. So my whole thing is that I've worked in group homes for many years, and just being out in the public with people who have mental disabilities, it's a hard thing sometimes. And a lot of people don't know how to react or even deal with the situation. And you have to be trained on something like that. And I just don't feel that police officers are getting the right amount of education and training on that specific subject.
So
Yeah. You know, I
I
did a
have.
video
Go
on
ahead.
YouTube
Dustin.
about this.
Isn't she though? Isn't she?
What this case for 1930 now. I know that training and stuff might have come a long way since then, and I have other reasons to think why it happened. But I tried to take the approach in the video that it wasn't the fact that the guy was African American, that the cops just didn't have enough training. So this guy in 1938, African American dude in DC, he was a World War I vet, and he came back. He had PTSD. And he was at home one day, and I guess he went into an episode and was like, "The Germans are coming. They're coming after me and stuff like that." And I guess he was making a ruckus. Police was called. They was on the they were there. Said that he was creating disturbance, which most likely, yeah. But I'm like, they needed more training because what ends up happening is, I guess they misinterpret what was going on, and they unalive the dude in his apartment. Pewed him through the window and came out saying that like, well, we sorry, but it had to be done. He was attacking us. I mean, how was he attacking y'all? But I took the point. I tried not to focus too much on like the race part of it, and I was like, well, they need more training to be able to handle situations like that because a lot of people don't know how to handle it. I think that it's my position that all people in general should have some type of training, whether they be cops or just every people on how to deal with it. But I was like, they need more training. And people, I think one person in the comments was like, I agree, but somebody was like, well, it was 1938. Training wasn't all that what it is today. I'm like, yeah, I give you that, but I'm like, you
I'll
still
be
need some
like,
type.
damn, we got the technology to do it now. Shit.
I'm like, you
Be like,
still
stop
those
cussing on my channel.
I'm like, you still see those type of cases today.
But okay. For example, on Saturday, I'm going to be doing a training that my coworkers do not know I'm doing. The only people that know that I'm doing this is my lieutenant and my sergeant and my chief. And it's because I have to have their permission, obviously, to do this. And I'm going to put a detainee's uniform on and put a blanket around my neck. And I'm going to see how long, I mean, obviously, I'll still be touching the ground. But I'm going to see how long it takes that officer to realize, for one, that I'm even there. and what I'm doing. And 2, what do you do afterwards? And if you think that I'm not going to fight them as soon as they come in there, oh no, I'm going to fight you. Because I need them to know what it's like in a real life scenario.
Yeah.
Because I've had to deal with that. I can't deal with these sunglasses. It's not flashing lights right now, Gabby, so I can't. But I need them to understand. I battle this with my uppers. Like my big dogs. I cannot teach somebody how to do this to an extent. You're either born to do it or you're not. But that's to an extent. And since a lot of uppers will not take that answer, then I have to figure out how to teach these people to do it. Does my mother say no to this? Well, I guess she's gonna figure it out when she does the rewatch.
I'm telling Mom. Kelly, don't be a tattletale.
Do it. I'm 1,000 miles away. What's she gonna
Kelly,
do?
she'll know now. We just
Mom.
having fun out here. We just having fun.
Hey Mom, I hacked your channel. What are you gonna do about it?
What is happening?
Oh man.
But no, I agree with you. We don't. The fact that I don't know if I could get in trouble for saying this.
This is not safe.
No, I gotta figure out how to word this.
I mean, look at the ticker. All it says is you must have fun. What could go wrong?
So
she gonna get AJ struck.
No, it's not that. I'm talking about my own actual job.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Okay, so we're hiring a lot of young people because they don't have enough time in life to basically mess up.
See you later, toy.
To
have a great day.
Make it where it would flag you on a top security clearance. So we're hiring these people that have absolutely no idea what they're doing. And because you're technically not going to flag on that. I feel like I shouldn't say that, but call it spade.
If you feel like you shouldn't say it, just don't say it.
Yeah. It's public knowledge. You can literally Google it. That's the only reason I'll say it, because you can literally Google that statistic.
Yeah, we don't need Ida, I'll send you the link through Discord.
Cool, I get to be on stream with a famous streamer.
Ooh.
A world-renowned streamer.
So, but Flashpoint, I get what you're saying. And it's really hard. So I talked to my sergeants, I talked to my lieutenants, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna put them to the test. And I'm not talking a test that they're gonna know about. I'm talking a test they don't know what's going on. And because they just put me through a test that I had absolutely no idea what was happening, and it made my heart sink when that radio call came through.
Okay, Ida, I just sent it in Discord.
So they just did a yeah, you're the famous streamer now. So they just did a test last week, and I'm not joking. Out of the 10 years that I've been doing this was the call that made my heart absolutely sink. And thank God it was a drill. But I didn't know it was a drill. There was a bomb in a backpack that went off, the mass casualties in the back, and need all personnel responding immediately. As this is happening, our freaking fire alarm goes off. Not that was just a coincidence that it ended up going off. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like about to dial 911. And my lieutenant's like, it's a drill, it's a drill, it's a drill. And I was like, don't do that. Like, do not do that. I said, I about just came out of this room to go and help you. I said, don't tell me that there's mass casualties and my my brothers and sisters in blue is on the ground, because I don't take that very well.
Yeah.
But
I mean I don't know what, like, I know I went to school with a lot of people who had like they called it multiple disabilities, and a lot of people, like, I want to understand, so I was like, they had like volunteer sections where you could go and volunteer. Only thing that stopped me from doing it in the long run was I got they would throw stuff at me like food and stuff, like, oh no, I can't do this. I can't. I was like, and that's because I'm a foodie and it has a little something to do with it. But I'm like, I don't know how to. My instincts want to react, and I know it's not their fault that what they're doing. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I always try to teach people: don't react. And because the moment that you do not react and you just observe what's around you, you can get so much more information in those few split seconds by not reacting and observing what's around you than you can in any other moment. All right, flashy outside. I'm gonna need you to knock it off.
Hey, Christine, just message me on Discord. We are a friend on Discord, so if you want to anytime, just let me know. Reach out and we can talk about something like that.
Is Eddie coming on?
I sent her the link in Discord. Hold on, let me
You
check.
might have to add her though, because I don't think if she comes in on Discord, I don't think I have access to do that.
No, that's how Flashfan came on.
Yeah,
I sent him the link
Gabby,
through Discord.
Gabby, I don't.
And I was able
You
to
added him before I even came on.
That's
I
because
had
I like you.
I had the of course, copy and paste because they tried to take me through the website, and I had an app, so I ain't trying.
You all know what I did to Gabby earlier? I was like, Gabby, can you come backstage and please control the chat?
Oh, there's Ida. There's Ida. Bring her up. Okay, here we go. Oh, stop. There you go. Hi, Ida. Oh, heck yeah.
Hey.
Ida's too cool for school.
I gotta tell you, I went to. Y'all remember Kyle, the shooter that got unalived, the sniper?
Kyle.
Yes. Yeah. I know.
Well, he is buried at the Texas State Cemetery across the highway from the Capitol. Mm-hmm. And you have to be a very important person in Texas to be buried there. Mm-hmm. And he was buried there. Well, my mom has a dear friend. Of course, now he was 90 years old. And his wife, well, he died. And he was a bigwig. And he is buried right next to Kyle.
Oh, really?
So, by the way, if you've never seen his headstone, his monument thing, it's fabulous. The wife and the kids' handprints are, it's very touching. Aww. So I am there at the funeral and everybody's gone. We're walking back and these babies are laying on the ground in a case.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
$400 pair of glasses.
Oh, I believe it.
And of course, I went to turn them in and no one claimed them, so they're mine.
Haley.
They don't scratch. And if they do, they replace them.
Y'all, Adair's in the house, y'all. Hi, Adair.
Hi, Adair. So
Hi,
why
Adair.
are you calling me famous? I'm not famous.
No, you're famous.
Ida. Flashman calls
Ada.
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 Yep.
Flash fan calls everybody a YouTube famous star.
Oh, well, okay, good. I didn't want to get big headed yet.
Yeah, he tried to say that I was one, and I was like, Flash fan, my boy. I don't even know how to turn my phone on half the
I
time.
think anybody that's over 50 subs or over 100 subs are famous YouTubers.
I
Oh,
got
you're so kind. I've stalled. I can't get. It's like I'm stuck. I can't break where I'm at.
so my mama was telling me like a time like she kind of stalled, and so I did some research on it. It just happened.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to make some changes next year, so we're
They
good.
do.
That's
They
what
do
we're
look
doing,
good,
too.
Ada. I like
Thank
them.
you. Yep.
I don't know if you
Thanks.
heard the changes that we're doing.
Nope.
We're doing some
They're
changes.
called Crew. Just so anybody was asking, KREWE.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
What
I'm gonna
changes?
buy.
Yeah.
So go ahead,
Ask
Gabe.
yourself this question, everyone. Because if you have to ask yourself it, you gotta go hit that like.
Leave your
I've already hit the like.
As
I hit
Gabby
it.
said.
I don't even think I did.
Yeah, I hit. Carmen, come on, you started the live.
I almost made an inappropriate joke here a few years ago about looking people on
Mom,
the remember the Georgia case?
Yeah.
my mom said earlier
Yeah,
to
that's
wipe
the
your
joke.
DNA on the like button. I was
Yeah.
like, Mom,
You gotta hit your. You gotta leave your touch DNA on that like.
y'all nasty.
So during the testimony of the urine
Rodney.
drinking,
Hey, I already choked once today. I don't need to be choking again.
That's what she said.
during the testimony of the urine drinking in the Georgia case, I almost made an inappropriate joke like, "Need your urine on the like button."
Ronnie.
Y'all are awful.
I was like, "Nah, let me that."
I was drinking apple cider and it went down the wrong way and I nearly spewed it all over this monitor.
Oh wow!
I just realized what I shared. Did you see Ronnie's comment?
I saw that. That's why I was like, Ronnie.
My bad, guys. My
No,
bad.
you're good. Put it back up. But no.
AJ for see this nigga on and be like,
This is what happens when Mama gives you the password and you hack the channel.
Oh my god, that was so funny, Ronnie.
Toy, I visit cemeteries where I know nobody all the time geocaching. There's a lot of good geocaches in cemeteries.
What is that? I've heard it several times. What is
Oh,
that?
girl. Okay. So there's an app and it's a map and there are a lot of dots on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like an adult treasure hunt or so like, all right, Kerrville, we have a walking path, right? Somebody has put a small geocache every 10th of a mile. That's when I started doing it. A geocache is a small container. It could be as little as my pinky with a rolled up piece of paper, or it could be a huge box with a bunch of trinkets and fun things in it that you can exchange for. And it's hidden. And they give you coordinates. They will give you a hint, and then you go find it. It's like a treasure hunt.
Huh.
And the micro minis irritate me because you can just sign your name and that's it. But it is a wonderful way to get exercise. I hate walking without having a goal, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I will park my car if I know that there's 10 geocaches in a mile, and I will park the car and go and get those and come back to the car just fine. So I use it as a form of exercise, but I got over 700 geocaches.
Damn.
But Google it. It's really fun. And some of them are really creative. Like this one cemetery, there's a telephone pole with what looks like to be an electrical box, right? You wouldn't mess with it. Well, you have to figure out the combination by the hint, and it's puzzle. You got to use your brain. And when you figure out the number, it opens up. And when it opens up, it was a troll house.
Oh my
Microwave
goodness.
trolls in the house.
That
and
is
you
so
could
cute.
trade for a troll.
That's actually pretty cool.
You know, every time, whenever somebody says the word troll, I always think of like the little trolls with the jewel for a belly button. The little toy trolls with the spiked hair and that has a jewel belly button. It's so cute.
Like the early 90s?
Yes, the little
Yeah.
toys. So cute.
You should see how my family react when I try to explain what a YouTube troll is. They're like, so there's actual people who trolls in the chat. I'm like, no, that's not, no. I'm like, that meant, oh, somebody joined Court Watch. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I keep sharing it. Also, Flash fan, talk about Court Watch.
Court
Yeah,
Watch,
go ahead and promote it.
Plan on doing over there? What's the first thing you're going to plan on doing?
Is a Discord where I created with I will be attempting, hopefully it works, to stream classic trials there. I plan to put a poll up after the new year, right when the new year begins. For which trial they got, let's see, we got Aaron Hernandez over there. We got Michael Peterson, the staircase. We have Frederick Tokars, who I call the Georgia Alex Murdoch. I think Dahmer's over there. Robert Bardo, a kid in California. Who,
be careful with Dahmer.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know if I had it over there or not. I think I put it in just
be careful with Dahmer because they're the family. We were actually literally just talking about that this morning.
Yes, we were.
Say that again. Be careful with who? I missed it.
Dahmer.
What's happening now?
So
Jeffrey
be
Dahmer.
Careful. Yeah, be careful doing anything with Dahmer because that family. There's a lot of lawsuits going on right now.
Yeah.
I won't bring anything with Dahmer.
The surviving families are just.
Carmen, look at your.
Yeah,
Discord.
I might take that case out of there then. Because I know when Monsters came out the first season, they had, I think the family members came out saying, or the victims saying, like, well, it wasn't completely accurate. And my response to that, like, do you want them to be completely accurate? I mean, like, I can't.
Well, you know what?
But
you know what, Flash fan, that whole thing with the monster Netflix series, it was kind of crazy. I did too, and I've stayed with that series so far. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Menendez brothers.
I've seen all of it.
Yeah, me too. And the dad of Jeffrey Dahmer, he wrote a book and tried to profit off of it. And all the surviving families have they won their court case about that, about him basically not being able to profit off the story from it. And I mean, I guess, rightfully so, right? I mean, so many people were, it's just a terrible, terrible thing.
Hey, Spawn of AJ, Carmen, all those dots probably represent about 100 geocaches per one of those dots. You can share it. And then these are different kind of caches you can find. You got the micro minis, you got the what we call evil. Mm-hmm. I go get my ear molds made for my hearing aid, and it's bubblegum pink, right? And always a little left. So I'll do this with my hand, and he'll pour it in here, and he leaves it there so he can see when it's done. That's how you can gauge the timing. It looks like a cute piece of bubblegum.
I'm not gonna
the
lie
underside, I glued a geocache and dug a hole and put it on the ground, and people can't find it because they're walking over a piece of bubblegum they think, and it's actually the cache.
If it has anything to do with Discord at all, I don't know how to do it. I know how to open your messages, and that's about it.
They basically ask me,
"Yep,
how do I do this in Discord?" I'm like, hold on.
Well, Gabby, you can go to her Discord, can't you?
I can't sign in as her in Discord.
Why not? I'm just kidding. You're not having my Discord.
Yes, see, Kelly. I asked Gabby.
Well, the thing about the Menendez is I was thinking on New Year's Eve, because we're going to be doing a lot of things, because I'm going to be on for almost 24 hours, about doing some of that, because I watched the entire series and I've watched all the trials that I can find.
Did you see the new documentary though? Like right after the Monster series, a new documentary came. Oh, okay. That one was pretty good.
Before you guys go into that, you've seen it, Ada?
Mm-hmm.
Flashman, you've seen it?
Almost. I think I still had the last 2 episodes left.
Gabby, you've seen it?
Yes.
I haven't seen it at all.
Oh,
Not a
you gotta watch
thing.
it. You gotta watch it.
But here's the problem.
You guys talk about it.
Here's the problem. No matter what, you can't pay attention to anything in any of the series. Watch the trial. And only the evidence admitted in the trial can you pay attention to. But even at that, this is something like you and I were talking about, Carmen. Mental illness. Those kids were highly SA'd.
Yeah.
Highly. And
well, that's very controversial. To some people. To some. I agree that they were SA'd. That's just my opinion. A lot of people have very different opinions about that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, I know that this is a safe space, and I haven't seen anything. I have not watched any documentary whatsoever on it, so that's why I was going to have you guys discuss it if you didn't mind.
Yeah.
Well, don't even talk about the documentaries,
because there is the original trial.
They got some things wrong.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean it is a dramatized series, right? I mean there are some things within the series that are within the trial. But I mean it's a dramatized thing. There's actors playing them, it's gonna be dramatized.
Right.
Now, what were you gonna say?
I take the opinion of like where I was raised by old school parents. So my mom always said that like you commit a crime, no matter if it's not in self-defense, which that case definitely wasn't, it was premeditated. Now, I don't disagree that they were assaulted, but I like it was premeditated. They were eating ice cream, sleeping, or whatever on the couch, and they puked their parents to death. So like they deserve the sentence they got. However, I don't agree with the judge in that trial. He's on record saying, "Well, I don't believe this can happen to boys." I'm like, you live under a rock.
That should have been a mistrial.
It should have, and you're absolutely right about that, Ada.
Well, the first trial was a mistrial.
No. The first trial, you're correct, was a hung jury.
Yes.
There's a difference between a hung jury mistrial and mistrial because of the behavior of a judge.
Right.
The prejudicism of a judge. I was like, I saw some of that in the video when I watched the trial. And the other thing that gets me is the law changed shortly after them.
It did.
At a certain period of time. And they have served a long time. I think they've served their sentence. I believe.
Well, wasn't it like over 30-something years now or something like that?
Yeah,
they're over 30 years.
They got sentenced in, I want to say, like March or so of 1996.
I thought it was 93. Well, that may be the first case.
93 was the first case.
And then OJ happened after their mistrial.
OJ's verdict came in October 3rd, 95. The Menendez second trial started October 11th, 95 and lasted to March 96.
Yeah.
So it was 96. Yeah.
Yep.
So, well, but see, that's the thing too. That city had rioting. They had 2 major trials that did not go as the public wanted it to go and felt it should have gone. So this was one of these things that there was a lot of extenuating circumstances outside of the actual trial itself. I don't think they should have been tried. That should have been a change of venue, and that judge should have recused himself.
Absolutely. That whole second trial.
Yeah, he limited crap. He limited.
Yes, he limited their whole defense. And that was just.
He said,
"What do you do? What do you do in that situation?"
he said that only the defendants, or how he taught defendants, could bring up the abuse if they testified. I'm like, well, who would believe a defendant if nobody can corroborate the story?
Hi, Puddletown.
So
Yeah, hello,
Bef-
Puddletown. Well,
above
one of
that,
the
if
things.
go ahead. So I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. The biggest thing about me in the trial is I don't, once again, back then they didn't understand the SAID situation in men like they do today.
Yes.
And most people, especially with the money and the prominence this family had, would ever believe that the father was capable of that.
But
so that was one of the biggest downfalls that they had to fight from day one. Now, it is true they unalived them when they were basically sleeping on the couch, eating TV and whatever. But at the same time, they feared when they went home that something was going to happen. They had an inert sense of fear because of their past. But I think in a lot of states, 35 years in it is considered a life sentence. And after you've served 35 years.
So it depends on what your
charges were.
sentence is, and like what your charges are, what your sentence is, and what the state is.
Yeah, like
so
first or second degree.
that, but also what state you're in. So 25 to life is very different amongst states. So Kyle, my friend that went to prison, he has to serve a minimum of 65 years. And that's his absolute minimum until he is eligible for any sort of parole. Will he ever get parole? No, he'll be dead before that time. But
Okay, so the jury found both brothers guilty and convicted them on 2 counts of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Now, I don't like the fact that they were tried together.
Yeah,
they should have separated them.
They should have been separate.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't they do that in the first trial where they had 2 separate juries?
No.
Yeah, that
well, yes, they did.
In the first trial.
That was
But
the
they
one
tried
thing
them at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Correct.
it wasn't
Yes.
like okay, we're gonna have 2 separate dates. So what would happen? They had like a gold and yellow jury, I think, and
Right.
each jury see some evidence. Like when the Eric Menendez jury got to see Eric Menendez evidence, the Lyle Menendez jury got to see Lyle Menendez jury. Then you had circumstances where both juries got to see evidence because it relates to both defendants.
Right.
But I agree with you, Flash Fan, but here's the issue I had with that.
I'll be right back.
You have Eric, who is Lyle, who's 5 years older or 4 years older than Eric. Or, he's older. He was very much like his father, domineering, abusive. He abused his brother. The father abused him as well. He was getting it from both of them. The other brother only got it from the father. So to me, there was multiple layers in the situation, and I think they should have been tried totally separate because Eric was the one that was being manipulated by everybody. And his brother, after they unalived the father and mother, became the father and abused him. So I don't think this trial should have been tried at all with both of them together. It should have been separate.
Yeah, I do.
That already sets him up for failure.
I personally don't think. Go ahead, Flash Fan. I'm sorry.
I do agree with that, and I do agree with the only thing I agree with Judge Weisberg on in the second trial was he should have separated. But nonetheless, I do agree with him when he's like, we're not having 2 juries this time, because that just gets complicated. But
oh yeah, well now he should have. I wonder what he thinks about the young thug trial.
Oh wow, yeah.
I mean, if he has, let's think. What were you going to say, Carmen?
Yeah, go ahead. My opinion, I don't care if you all did the crime together or what have you. You might get the same jury, but I don't think y'all should be tried together.
Mm-mm.
Because there could be somebody that was just an accomplice, and that they're getting hit with first degree, or vice versa, and just what have I feel like, as the Constitution states, each person is given their own fair trial. That means each individual person. So if you try to combine these things, you're technically violating their constitutional rights.
Well, and on top of that, you have one person, which was is Lyle the oldest, I think?
Yeah, he is. Eric
He's the oldest. Okay.
Yeah.
Lyle originally said he thought about unaliving the parents first and brought his brother in. Then he spun it that his brother was the one, after they were caught, that brought up unaliving the parents. So he threw his brother under the bus. And I agree. And Lyle was the one that reloaded and went back in to finish off the mom.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is two totally different levels of criminal. And
that's how it is to me too. And even if it was the same level of criminal, like, again, I go back to the U.S. Constitution on how it is stated, and it's not very often that I will go back to that unless it's just black and white. Because like you and I were talking about earlier, law and crime, it's not black and white.
Very gray.
You have more gray areas than what you do black and white.
No. Toy, they did not necessarily agree. Now, the attorney hired for Eric was the little 4-foot woman, or was that Lyle?
Yeah, no, that was Eric and then Leslie.
There was Eric. Okay. She is a spitfire. Now, I saw a video online of her recently, and she doesn't look anything like what she did back then. She would never guess that was her. But she was so wrong in the second trial. The judge abused all attorney rights and privileges in that second trial. When she objected, he threatened her with contempt of court for lawfully objecting. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was floored. My mouth was literally scraping gravel on that, the way he was. And her hands were tied. She just sat there and she was pissed.
Judge Stanley Weisberg, in my opinion, is a guy, born in the 40s. Didn't necessarily, and that is all speculation, but I'm somewhat confident with this, that he didn't like female attorneys, is my thoughts.
No, he didn't. And I kind of did some research on him, and there was a lot of people, female, who had issues with him, but he already had it made up in his mind these guys were guilty, and he was not going to do anything to make it fair or easy, period. He wasn't at all. And
so what y'all think about how I know y'all said that they fear for their life, but what y'all think with them spending money, like going on the shopping spree, buying restaurants and stuff like that?
Guilt and freedom, because remember, they were so microscopically controlled. They had things, but remember, I don't know if you know this or not, his father bought him like a Ford little sunroof car, and he was mortified when his dad had a Mercedes and where they lived, and he was pissed off. He wanted a Beamer or a Mercedes. He was pissed and yelled at his dad, and that, I think, is in the documentary. That was brought up, but it was kind of like, oh my God, there's no one here. We can get what we want. Finally, we can live like my dad lived. I put up with enough abuse and crap from my father. I'm going to blow his money. That's kind of the mentality I think they had. I think it was very subconscious, but they, all right, all of us. Well, you're probably spawn of AJ and Gabby closer to it than I have ever been in my life, since early 20s, 18 to 25 years old, and you come into at least $14 million. What the hell are you going to do?
Put it in my stocks.
You're going to get a car. You're going to go have fun. You're going to do some things right. But it's magnified because these are rich, entitled kids.
And that's the thing. I've refused to really look at anything with the Mendez brothers. I have not watched documentary. I have not watched the original case. I know nothing about them. And that's why I've just sat here silent, because I don't have an input because I don't know.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
I just think that from someone who has been, I don't know how to say this on YouTube, who have had things happen
Town,
to
be
them.
careful.
Yeah, I'm just not going to put that up on the screen. Who have had things happen to them when they were younger. A person can only take so much, right, before they hit the glass ceiling. And the whole spending spree, watching all this stuff and watching parts of the trial and all this stuff, I try and put me into their mind and into their shoes with it. And it's such a hard thing, right? When you've been through so much. Can you even say the A word on YouTube?
A-hole?
No. No.
The body part? No.
A, B, something. Basically DV, but.
Oh, okay. Abused.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
can say
that.
Okay.
You just
I don't know.
You just can't put the
behind
it.
I gotcha.
Ass.
I gotcha.
So yeah,
someone who's been abused most of their young life and their young adult life, I can completely understand their mindset of how they got there and how they reacted after the fact, right? I would never do what they did, but that's just me. It's such a hard thing to have a conversation about, I guess. I mean, it's just a wild thing.
Well, but Ronnie stated, I think the boy's uncle controlled the money and they had to go to him. Yes and no. He controlled a certain portions and I think he didn't control all of it. But the uncle was like, okay, I want to start this business. Why don't you throw in 300,000 and then you can do what you want? Right. And that's something that came up in trial. And so I think the uncle was just as bad as they were.
And it's like, again, I don't know anything about this case, but you had $1 million now. It's $1 million isn't jack now. You can go below $1 million in a day easily.
Oh, their 14 million is worth probably then is probably about 25, 30 now.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like taking into perspective, like if you just count it as what it is now, yeah, you're gonna live comfortably if you do it correctly. But
yeah, no.
If it was just 14 million, and I'm not meaning like just 14 million, like just 14 million. I don't mean it like that. But
interesting, Ronnie. You would have done the same?
I would have done the same with what? Who?
Spending the money, just living life the way they did.
Yeah.
And so like,
well, once again, let's think about it though. Really, Eric wasn't blowing all the money. It was Lyle.
Yeah.
Eric was the one that was guilty, emotionally struggling, went to the counselor and spilled the beans. Then Lyle was notified and then all hell broke loose. But if you really look at the spending, it was Lyle by far.
Yeah, I mean, but also I think that, specifically, I guess, to Ronnie. A lot of people, it was a different era too, going back to how they thought, a lot of the people who were on the first jury, they were all male, and a lot of them were males. And at that time, in that era, they didn't believe that men could be essayed or whatever the situation, abused in general. They only thought it was females that could happen to. And
they
it's a
thought they could just
generational
get
thing.
away.
Yes,
They thought they could just walk away.
Yes, because they have this notion in their head that, females are less strong than males, and males can fight back better than females, and whatever their reasoning. It's a generational thing.
Now, my response to that would be: did they all live under a rock? Because I mean, you had people like John Wayne Gacy and Jeffrey Dahmer about in those days. Dahmer was like 2 years or so before them and then his brothers, and Gacy was about 15 years previous. I'm like, did all these people live under a rock? How did y'all not hear about these cases where it clearly happened to men? Gacy took out 33 boys.
Yeah, but it was not as prevalent and accepted as it is today, number one.
Right.
And number two, we didn't have the social media. And a lot of these hoity-toits lived in their own little world, in their own little bubble. And back in that time, I don't know how old you are, Flashpan. I'm 53.
I'm the youngest on the screen, 24. 25.
Okay. Back in that time, we have to remember, yes, we heard limited things about these cases back then, and it wasn't televised and advertised like it is now.
Right.
And it was very filtered information versus what we have now. Now we can sit and watch in the courtrooms, some of them. So it wasn't as well known as what you would think it was, number one. More people of this generation know more about that than they did of my generation during that time.
Right.
O.J. Simpson was one of the first biggest trials that really blew all that open. Okay. The number two is back in that time, everybody was spending money like it was water if you were in that generation and of those means. It was a time of really just blowing. I mean, it was all about the cars, all about the clothes, all about the names. It was all about all of that, especially in LA. I lived in California for the part of that time, and it was a lifestyle. So the boys doing what they did does not surprise me at all.
Right. And where did they live? Beverly Hills, right?
Yep, Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, and
they didn't get a multitude of places, but they did live in like the rich neighborhoods, like Calabasas and stuff like that.
Yeah, Calabasas.
But I found it funny that a predominant writer who was featured in the documentary, I can't remember his name, he lost his daughter. She got killed. And
Dominic Dunn.
Yeah, thank you, Dominic Dunn. He went on a tour of the house.
Yep.
He went on a freaking tour of the house, and they had moved, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, beautiful home, but tacky furniture. In other words, they weren't as classy as we thought they were.
Well, that's the other thing too, like a lot of people forget that people who live in those areas, they have, tacky furniture. That's how they stay. That's how rich people stay rich. Is they buy tacky furniture.
Well,
cheaper
the whole
furniture.
Investment. They put they sink the money back then. It may be different.
About the property.
Laws
it's
have
all
changed.
About the property.
The laws have changed, but when you sink all the money into the property and your homestead, they can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get in trouble, it's better to be land and property and home, building rich than it is to be financial, money in the bank account rich. But the other thing is his father came from out of country. He came here at the age of 16, 18, 15, 16, and he worked as a busboy.
Yep.
And worked his way up.
Right.
So he wasn't born here with a silver spoon in his mouth.
Well, the other thing too about the trial is that they had said that nobody from the family, including their father's side of the family that came on up to the stand had anything nice to say about him.
Nope, they
No.
did.
They
Nope.
all had basically the same type of story about how he treated them when they were younger.
There were 101 witnesses in trial one, 104 actually, in trial one. And 60 some odd of those witnesses were family members, coaches, and teachers who testified that Jose Menendez was a villain, a monster.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't mean to play devil's advocate here, but there's only two things that I heard in that. That I don't know shit. I guess three things. And I was like, oh, the War of the 1812. Which had nothing to do with anything. And men wanting to see a magic trick on how you want to see how hard I can hit. That's what I got from that. So
Carmen,
apparently I got.
And now,
I gotta-
Toy, I'm not saying that all rich people buy tacky furniture.
No.
And you said, not the rich I know. I understand that. But at that time, what was that? The 80s?
for Menendez, the crime took place in 89.
Late 80s. 89 is when they unalived the parents. August
Okay,
20th,
so
I believe.
late 80s, early
August
90s.
20th, 1989.
I'm sorry, but late 80s, early 90s furniture in general was tacky.
Was
It doesn't
tacky as
matter.
hell.
Yes, it was tacky as hell. It didn't matter how much you spent on it. It was
I'm
just
sorry.
tacky.
We had in my home, when they show the pictures of late 70s and early 80s, that shag, green or brown marble shag with the brown and beige and orange carpeted furniture with the orange plastic foot or the green plastic round footrest with the cowboy westerny wooden coffee table. Y'all, that's what I grew up in. It was tacky as hell. Shag blue. Oh, if you were lucky, you had shag blue. Now I'm living in Texas. The number one thing I fear more than anything is scorpions. Until I learned to cut the stingers off, and then it didn't matter if you didn't kill them; they die anyway later. But on shag carpet in the bathroom, you get out of the shower and you step down. If it felt like a penny was under your foot, you had a scorpion, baby, and you couldn't see them in that carpet.
So, did you know? I mean, I'm sure you did, but they're getting real anal about it. The timbers, rattlesnakes.
Who? What?
The game wardens. They're getting real strict about the timber rattlesnakes.
What do you mean?
As in, it's like almost a $200,000 fine
to kill one.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, if I'm out camping and one of those slither close to me and my life is in danger, I will take the fine and fill it full of lead.
So, because we had to shine that, we had to have.
All I know is a rattlesnake is a rattlesnake and it's a dead snake.
That's what I thought. So we had to have some removed from our property because they decided to make a little nest.
Oh God, that's
rattlesnakes?
Oh, they make nests.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I was thinking
of them.
I was thinking of the picture that Carmen had sent me a while ago, and she's like, "Should I pet it?" And it was a copperhead snake.
Oh,
and I go, "No, don't pet it. Don't pet it."
Do y'all know that copperheads are one of the few snakes that will chase and attack you?
Yes, actually, I do know that. It bit me right on my ankle.
Yeah, because you tried to pet it, Carmen.
Was it a dry bite? Was it they are also dry biters.
So they said it was a dry bite until I collapsed, and then I had to go to Riley Hospital when I was a kid, and I was like, I don't think that's a dry bite. I don't feel so good, and so I have no feeling from where my sock line is all the way down to the very bottom of my foot.
Dry, DRY. Dry bite. See, the adults moccasins will often dry bite.
So that's the other thing we had on our property. So we had timbers, and then I thought that's all we had. And then I was like, That's cottonmouth. And because we had like in Indiana, it was really rare to see a cottonmouth, but they're there. And since my parents had a pond, cottonmouths were like, water.
Oh, gotcha. Puddle
I
tail.
wanna.
So
Okay.
we had a. Go ahead, Gabby.
No, go
Well,
ahead. Finish what you're gonna say about the snakes, because I want to get back to one of Ronnie's comments real quick. But go ahead.
So, we had cottonmouths there, but most of what we had was copperheads. And so the story with the copperhead was I was supposed to be helping my mom plant flowers, but I decided to go fishing instead. And it had rained the previous morning, and the water, like, it had like poured. So the water was like up past the grass. So I kicked my shoes off, kicked my socks off. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go catch some bluegill.
No.
And I was like, we're gonna catch some rock bass, we're gonna catch some bluegill. And I saw something move beside me, and I didn't really think anything of it. And then all of a sudden, I felt a real sharp pain on my ankle, and I was like, ow, that hurts. And I looked down, and there's a freaking copperhead attached to my ankle.
Oh no, he dumped. When
Yeah,
they
he
attach,
dumped
they're
it.
dumping
Yeah,
venom.
he dumped it. And so he didn't get a good grasp, which was in which saved my life. And so he didn't like when his fangs went
Very
in,
toy.
he didn't he went like kind of up and around. So he did a pocket of venom, but it wasn't in my bloodstream, which was good.
So he didn't hit a vein or an artery.
Exactly.
So the thing is that I don't ever go any rivers and creeks. When I was during Katrina, I was on the 9th ward. I was a 15-year Red Cross person, and I'm disability integration specialist. I'm a disability specialist, and there were some disabled people stuck, deaf people on the top of the house, other disabled. So we were in airboats doing some rescue, and water moccasins would jump it literally
Yeah,
into the boat and try to attack us. And we're going, pew, pew, pew. I mean, luckily I was sitting up on the higher part of, you know how you can sit up in the airboats? They had me up higher, but I mean, we all were packing heat, even though you're not allowed to. And I know the Red Cross, I don't care. I'm not a part of them anymore. And this is one reason why I'm not, is that we're not allowed, even if you have a license, you cannot carry a weapon if you're in the Red Cross the whole time you're on a DR, disaster response. And I'm sitting here in an airboat with snakes hopping in. Alligators would bump up against you, but the snakes were literally just hopping in the boat with you. So I rather look at a rattlesnake than deal with cottonmouth and water moccasin are pretty much the same snake. Just people call them different because they are extremely aggressive. Give me a rattlesnake over one of those any day.
So we had Gabby, I don't know if you can pull that up that I just texted you. I don't know how to all I know is just to text you a picture. I don't know how to do anything else.
So you had to
I
share
gotta
the screen.
teach you.
Yeah, I gotta learn Discord. So like I remember I felt it and I was like, ow. Like that does not feel very good. And I looked down and I saw a snake attached to my ankle. And so I pulled it off and I threw it. And then I yelled at my mom and it sounds so stupid, but I was like, go grab the shotgun. And she was like, what? I'm supposed to be playing flowers with her. So she's just up in her daisies, just reminiscing. And I'm like, go grab the shot, pew pew. Like, I'm pissed. And she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I'll get it myself. And I don't know. Obviously I never caught it. I mean, I launched that thing whenever I grabbed it. And so I went, and then I remember that I didn't feel very good. I felt like I was gonna get sick. And But like I try to like play it off to my mom because I didn't want like I was embarrassed.
That's stupid.
I know, like now I know like how stupid that was.
Stupid is as stupid
And like
does.
I've never even told my mom that. Like to this day, I've never even told my mom that. Like how
Well,
sick.
guess she knows now.
Hopefully she won't watch
I-
this later on.
Yeah, no shit. Please do not watch the replay. How sick I felt. And like my stomach was turning, like I was swallowing like my own vomit. I know it sounds really gross, but like I didn't want her to know like how sick I felt.
I'd be screaming, call 911. Well, you know
And
what? They want
Yeah.
you to save the snakes. We had a guy it's like a dam and a road at the same time. And he was sitting on it with his golf cart. And I drove down because it was by my house. It's the only way in and out of that area. We had to drive over that. And I looked in my mirror and I saw him holding a snake up like this in his hand. And I went, oh shit, he's bit. So I whip around. I'm a first responder, whip around. And he's sitting there and the head of that snake is wiggling and starting to get like this. And he's
trying to
sitting
get
there
loose.
holding, and he has a dog next to him in the golf cart. And that dog is like, and I said, are you bit? And he goes, yep. I reached down to grab it and to throw it out of my way. And it bit me. And I mean, he's so country, old, wrinkled face, cowboy hat, all messed. And I said, cinch that snake up, sir. That's a cottonmouth. And I said, cinch it. It's about ready to bite you again. So he cinched. I called 911. The volunteer fire department and the sheriff show up, and the EMT show up in a ambulance, and they're all sitting there staring at him, going, "Okay, how do you feel?" Well, I don't know, And I'm standing there, and they said, "How are we going to get this snake out of his hand?" And I said, "Get a dang pillowcase and drop it in the pillowcase,
Exactly.
because you got to take it with you to the hospital so they can verify what it is for the venom, anti-venom." And then we don't have, and I said, "Okay, is this not an ambulance? Hello?
But
Hello?" So they
But-
pull one out and they go, "But now what are we going to do?" I throw it in the back out. The outside, they have those little compartments. So he dropped it. They did this, he refused to go to the freaking hospital. I think it's just a drive-by. I think I'm fine, So now he's gone. And we're all standing there and they're going, "Okay, now we got to get this snake out of the truck and do something with it." I'm like, for the love of God, you've got 7 men who are all hunters, because I know them, and you can't handle a little snake. I said, it's getting dark by now. I said, hold the bag up, shine the flashlight, find where the head is. There's a berm there. Point it, shoot it through the bag and kill it, and then dump it out. No, they threw it on in the ditch, and all of them lit bullets up. They dumped it out and it started running and almost bit somebody else.
Oh my gosh.
Stupid is as stupid does.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing, because it's like I said, like I remember like I felt sick and I didn't want to let my mom know that I felt sick, because I should have been planting flowers with her. And I wasn't. I was fishing instead. But I felt like shit.
Yep.
So okay, so the first picture. Yeah.
Didn't they lance it? Did they have to cut it open so it wouldn't?
No. So they never cut it open. So the first picture is just that's that day. That's
Oh,
at the
that's that
hospital.
day. Oh, well, you see 2 punctures here,
And
then you see that line, and then another one. Wow.
So yeah, so the first picture was at the hospital. Or no, I'm sorry, we're still on the deck. And you see this 2 puncture, and then the next one that's at the hospital. And it like literally burned my skin.
It's like
And
acid.
and my mom always makes fun of me. She's like, it's like a frowny face. And but it really is. But
No, bites, those kind of bites are miserable.
Oh, I would much rather break a bone than go through the pain. So what's crazy about that one is, because they thought it was a dry bite, and the doctor kind of just the ER doctor just kind of wrote it off and was like, ah, it's a dry bite, whatever. And thought that I just got bit by a water snake. I was like, I know the difference between a water snake and a copperhead. And just kind of wasn't really taking my answer. And even though I kept trying to tell them, like, I know the difference between a water snake. I know they look very similar, but I know the difference. And on and going with that, I didn't mind snakes. I would go in the yard and pick one up. I didn't mind them. And I don't do that now, because once you get bit by one that tries to take your life, you tend not to pick them up anymore.
Well, I'm geocaching scares me when I'm alone because I go out in the country, out in the woods, and so I can't hear the rattle.
Yeah.
So my dog is trained to the rattle.
That's good though.
And I take a walking stick and I'm banging it on the ground, and people think it's funny, but they will move. That harsh banging vibration will scare them off, and you can see them a whole lot easier.
Yeah, and like our property is like the wardens come out here quite frequently actually, and they look, because for whatever reason they love our property. They love to
Well,
nest
people
in our
don't
property.
realize, especially rattlesnakes, they don't realize, like, if you have a sheet of corrugated tin laying on the ground, they will go under and kind of burrow the sand to make like a little pit.
Yep.
And they could have hundreds underneath that.
Exactly. And they think that when they do that, they're like, oh, there's probably
Deadly.
just one or two under there. It's like, no, there's a couple hundred under there. It's not one or two. There's a couple hundred.
They do dens.
And exactly. And that's what we've been dealing with. And
No
it's
toy.
just it's just due to our property and how it's laid out. And like, we don't have anything laying out whatsoever. Like, we don't have any tin laying out. We don't have any wood stacks or anything. We decided.
Do you have a barbecue pit?
Nope.
I have a grill, and it's on my front porch because of some of this. But every time I open it, I use a broom handle and I'm stepped back because they get up inside those things.
So, I mean, we have a grill, but it's inside. Like, we keep it inside for that exact reason.
I have a brickstone griddle that's about the biggest.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
I have air fryer baskets, and I'm very careful when I open those. I use that.
I don't blame you. So whenever I got bit, the next like 3 months, I was in Riley Hospital, like just in and out of Bloomington Hospital, in and out of Riley Hospital. So people that are not from Indiana, Riley Hospital is a children's hospital. They took my gallbladder out as let's hope that's what's wrong. And so now I have to live the rest of my life without a gallbladder, which sucks. When that's not what was wrong. What was wrong was I got bit by a copperhead and they didn't do the proper procedure, and venom messed some things up.
You're lucky to be alive.
Yeah. I mean, I just, like, Cheyenne and I were talking about this a couple months ago when we were talking about snakes, and I said, Cheyenne, I've dealt with some pain before, and I said, I have a really high pain tolerance. I've dealt with pain before. I said, I can say that one of like the top pains I've ever dealt with was being stabbed with a screwdriver. I said that sucked. That hurt. Because that's not sharp. That sucks. And I said that was hands down one of the most brutal pains I've ever went through. And I said, but on top of surgeries, things being reconstructed with my face, get my face bashed in, stuff like that, I would have to say, and it's something I've never told my mom, is how bad that bite hurt. and it was like I knew something was wrong, but like, how do I tell my mom something's wrong when I wasn't even supposed to be down there in the first place? You know what I mean? And like but and that's where I knew I didn't like I knew from look like when I reached down and I grabbed it, I knew it was a copperhead. But before I ever even looked down, I didn't need to look down to know that
You
was
know.
been a mistake. Like that, just the pain. It hurt. Like I would much rather break a bone any day of the week than ever feel that pain again.
I'd rather be tased, and that says a lot.
50,000 volts going right through you.
I hate those things.
Actually,
Like crazy.
I actually no.
All right, who's been
I,
tased here? Who's been tased? They wanted to tase me. They wanted to tase me, and I said, "You can't. I have a
Not that
heart
bad.
murmur and a mitral
too.
valve prolapse. You tase me, you can kill me."
I don't have a second one. I don't actually. I mean, the last time they tested, they said a little micro hole in there, but they also were like, "Your seizures," and I'm like, "Tase the shit out of me. See what happens." I got Keppra for that. We're fine.
Honey, put a diaper on. See, I
Yeah,
want to go
pretty
get
much.
my license. I want to get I had my regular security guard license, my first level. I wanted to get the one for the license to carry security guard, but they want you to get tased. And I'm like, why do
Yeah.
I have to get tased?
You got in order to carry one, you gotta be tased.
Like,
So with
I don't
that
have to
being
experience.
said,
I don't have to experience taking a knife and chopping my finger off to
Trust me.
know that hurts like a mofo.
I get it because I argued the same thing. I was like, I was stabbed,
Oh, me
13
too.
times in the front and 7 times in the back with a screwdriver. That hurts like a mofo. But I'm pretty sure I can go to Lowe's and go buy a freaking screwdriver. And so, no, I get it. And just so you know, they upped it from 50,000 volts to 75.
Okay, but let me ask you, if somebody has a heart condition or something like that, can they get excused?
Yes, just go to your primary care
Physician?
doctor. Yep, that's all you gotta do. Because they'll let me get hit by 50. They will not let me get hit by 75. I've been hit by 75 before they found out that's a bad idea.
So how bad is it?
It sucks. Like I'm not
Is it
gonna lie
done
to
as
you.
soon as they stop?
It is. I'm gonna say it is about the worst 5 seconds of your life you will ever experience. It hurts. But it's only 5 to 7 seconds. But I'm not going to lie to you. It freaking hurts, and it is probably the worst pain you will ever experience for the 5 to 7 seconds in your entire life.
Worse than labor?
I've never given labor, but it hurts.
So I have a question about it. So I watched the body cam footage video where they deployed taser on this guy, and it had no effect whatsoever. It did certain people make up genetic makeup make them
No, that's somebody on drugs.
Oh, God.
Or it didn't attach appropriately. It may have just got the shirt and not the skin.
So I've had it when I'm like taser at a training where I wholeheartedly expect to shoot this officer right in the back, and I only get because they flinch and they'll jerk right at the very last second, and I only get the shirt. So I'm tasing the shit out of him.
I've been sitting there just doing this just so I don't have to get tased again.
If you're doing that, I'm gonna pop that thing. I'm gonna pop the cartilage off and put it right on your back and actually tase you. And because it's like I just look at it. If I have to go through this, you're gonna go through it too. And, but flashman, there's people when they're on drugs. I've maced people before. Like it does not affect them. Like I'm sitting there gagging, and I've went through the training to learn how to breathe through the chemical gases. And but there's certain times once you deploy so much of it, I don't give a shit how much training you have. You're gonna start choking.
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect him. And there's a video that I watched as a body cam footage where he got shot both kneecaps, and then another time in his thigh. Still walking towards the officer. Didn't ever even phase him. And
So, did you see Puddleton? I heard
No,
labor is like pulling your bottom lip over your head and swallowing. Did you get that from oh God, black comedian Cosby? I love his description. It's like taking that lower lip and stretching it all the way up over your head.
Yeah.
No, it's worse than that.
Y'all know Bill Cosby is a bit controversial.
Oh my God,
But he was a good comedian.
Yes,
and I
he
agree.
was.
I agree when he sat there and said, "Are you ready for this? Once a child hits the age of 12, we need to put them all in an insane asylum until they hit the age of 25."
Yep. I tell you, Eddie Murphy when he did Eddie Murphy Raw in the early '90s, that's freaking funny.
Well,
And
you know what? I'm not going to go down that road with him.
no,
I don't know
understand.
how I feel about that with him.
With the
But I
Eddie
will
Murphy
say,
Raw?
what gets me, and it always bothers me, and Gabby and Carmen and Flash fans, I would love to hear your opinion of this because I wrote a paper on it. One person can accuse a very famous person of a heinous act, and then everybody and their brother who is been in contact with that person will start making similar or identical accusations. It's like everybody jumps on that bandwagon. And I struggle with understanding, or I struggle with knowing who's lying and who's telling the truth.
Yep.
And I understand that I have a huge history. I was ST'd, and I understand that bad things happen and people are out there doing it. But when you have a famous person like him accused of something, and then over the next year or two, it grows from one or two people to hundreds of people.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I agree.
It makes that weird like it's kind of like the celebrity. I know it's somewhat different, but when the celebrities pass and everybody, well, I was his daughter, I was their daughter, I was their son or something. It's like they want attention.
Yeah. I mean, it's so different than Diddy right now. I do have to hop off here in just a second because the missus is home and I have not spent any time with her whatsoever.
Hi, Mrs.
Hello.
I think
Cheyenne.
Cheyenne.
Hey, Mrs. Maybe in the spring, can I come visit y'all?
Let me yell at her real quick, but I don't blow your eardrums out. But
am I not right, Gabby? About
I'm sorry, what was your question again?
It's like a famous person is accused of something, and then within months later, you've got 100 people accusing them of the same exact thing. It's like they jump on the bandwagon to get money.
Well, I feel like some of them are probably doing that, but some of them are. I mean, look at R. Kelly. Or, now P. Diddy. P. Diddy is so big.
All of them are bad.
You're right. But also, I do feel like a lot of people, especially famous people, for example, let's just say P. Diddy, right? Or R. Kelly. There's going to be victims that he actually did that to, right? And then there's going to be victims who come out and say, blah, 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 and could very well not be true, but they just want to jump on the bandwagon, like you say. And I'm pretty sure AJ did a trial actually about this specific thing, but it wasn't a famous person. And the victim was claiming SA, and nobody basically believed this person. And it's just one of those things where it's like, I wish people would actually stop doing that, because it actually gives people who were actually SA'd a bad rep. This is why the victims are not believed. This is why the SA victims don't come forward, because of those types of people who are just jumping on the bandwagon and want to get money or whatever from a famous person or whatever the scenario may be.
15 seconds of fame.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just horrible. It's a horrible thing, because
that reminds me, Ada, for it's slightly different, but kind of the same. It's like with DV. What are your thoughts on like Ashley Benefield? Did you believe her story or
no?
Okay,
not at all.
No.
Ashley Benefield is a manipulator. Could they have had fights, and could some things happen? Yeah. I'm not saying nothing happened, but what I am saying is with Ashley Benefield is she had multiple weapons in reachable areas in a small space. Why? And why would any parent with a toddler leave a weapon on top of a box or a container where the toddler can get a hold of it? And she let him in there, and she manipulated. When she got pregnant, she was trying to get away from him. She got him to invest a ton of money, close to $1 million, into a ballet company that she didn't even run, and it fell through. I mean, he was a money bags to her, and he loved her. I really believed he fell in love with her. I think she was a gold digger, and I believe. And then the other thing that got me was the fact that she permitted her mother to put her daughter outside the courtroom in front of all the media holding a sign, "Save my mommy." And I'm pissed that the news media actually showed that baby's face, which she's a minor. They shouldn't have done that. I think all of this was a manipulation.
Interesting. Because, the Ashley Benefield case is very controversial, too.
Her testimony kind of shifted. I was in the, like, yeah, I'm like, I won't believe it till I see it. But then with the state, even if you forget like the crime stuff, the state like, well, get down and demonstrate what you did. I'm like, come on, man, y'all ain't had to go that far.
Actually, I'm glad they did that. The reason why is her demeanor and the way she handled it, and all of that was a very telltale sign. And when you look at the interview with her, and then you look at her in court, to me, as a juror, that would help me. I've seen that happen in other court cases before. So I wasn't totally shocked by it. But for me, there was just too much to overcome. Was there any kind of abuse? There could have been. But what she did, I felt was a setup. And the way he was shot, too. Hi, Spawn.
Yeah, it's just such a hard thing, especially talking about SA and
Black. Oh, the Black Swan?
Yeah, Black Swan trial. But we're also talking about just like, famous people like R. Kelly and P. Diddy now and all these other people.
I think they're trying to get Jay-Z for it too.
Well, that's, they say he's next, basically.
Look, I know what all that baby oil or that oil was for.
We got somebody that apparently is taking my headphones.
Hi, Cheyenne.
I know what all that oil was for.
Hi, Cheyenne.
Hey, cutie.
I'm home, so I have to take the host now.
Nice.
I have 16 floral arrangements I got to do for my dad's birthday for the table, so I'm going to have to go in a minute. I try not to do them. Did you have a good day?
I did. I'm thankful it's over.
So what do you do for a living if you want to share?
Probation officer.
What? I might be doing that after I get my degree. I hear it sucks.
A lot of paperwork. A lot
Huh?
of,
I'm having a hard time.
It's very hard to hear you.
I blame my IT person.
I would blame her too. She's not good with IT.
Well, we thank
that's
you
wrong.
for sharing her.
Chloe, thanks for having me on and letting me take her away from you.
Well, before we leave, I told her, I said, in the spring, I want to come up and visit y'all because you live where my adopted mother, the mother that raised me, lives in the same town.
I heard that.
Hey, you're Native American. What are you?
Cherokee Indian, and then white, I guess.
So what is this tribal thing that you're going to? We can't hear you, babe.
I don't know what you're necessarily referring to.
Do you have something this weekend that's Native?
Carmen said you were going to like a Native American thing.
Thing.
That's news to me.
Oh, okay. Have you been down to the Coshada? Have you been to Coshada yet?
Yeah, we went once.
Well, when they have a nice powwow, I'll invite y'all to come up because next year, the Austin, Texas powwow is one of the biggest in the state, and it's fabulous.
Gotcha. I know they just did one here for Livingston's.
Yeah. I didn't make any this year. We had too much going on with my sister. But if you ever want regalia, let me know. I'll make you stuff.
Gotcha. Good to know.
So are you taking us away?
I am. It's all my fault. Blame me.
No, it's okay. Flash fan, Gabby, Carmen. Thank you guys so much.
Oh yeah, real quick, Gabby.
Yeah.
Carmen never told Ada what the changes were.
Oh yeah. So the changes of AJ's channel is, well, one, we're going to be doing the serial unalivers of the United States. We've all, me, Carmen, AJ, Flash fan, we've all chose states throughout the USA, and we've picked our states and so far, and we're all researching the most infamous serial unalivers for that state.
That's fun.
And then the other change is that AJ's going to be starting her streams now around like, what did she say, 12, Carmen?
Yeah, it's gonna be at noon.
Like noontime, like court lunchtime, and she's going to be doing like a hour or so streams from
awesome.
now on. Yeah.
Well, I don't have time to. I love that concept. Absolutely love it. And I'm going to be focusing a lot on the Simpson trial because it's in San Antonio. And but my problem is I'm in school full time, and in fact, I got to get to studying because I'm taking. Anybody know what a mini semester is? It's 16 weeks and 3 weeks.
Yeah.
What's
I'm
a mini
doing
semester?
started today.
Love you,
So-
Ronnie.
I don't have that much time. So I got to figure out what we're going to be doing. Ronnie, thank you.
Oh, she's talking about Brad
Well-
Simpson. Okay.
Ada, I apologize for telling you wrong. I got the travel thing from her family.
Oh, that's okay.
So apparently she doesn't know about that. But-
My bad. My misunderstanding. I'm
no,
deaf.
it wasn't
Y'all-
your misunderstanding.
y'all
That
ruined
was
this
my
surprise.
misunderstanding.
Oh, What people don't realize, I'm lip reading and then I got captioning on my screen. That's how
Yeah,
I
no,
follow
that
y'all.
was 100% not your misunderstanding. That was my misunderstanding on what apparently her
Oh,
mother meant.
that's okay.
Puddle
Well, guys,
Town.
for everybody
Yeah,
here, I
we're-
will not be live again until Monday because we're going to be out of town. And
Okay.
I'm going to be with family. My papa's turning 90 on the 28th.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes. And he just got back from Panama. I don't know. He travels all over the world and does ministry at 90. He's flying out of country.
There you
So
go.
thank you so much for having me. Y'all are a blessing. I love y'all.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Ida. Ada.
Damn, great.
Sorry.
Out here with a YouTuber.
Ada.
Nighty, night,
Ada.
nighty, night,
Ada.
nighty, good night. Thank you.
Good night. See you Monday.
I'll
See
see
you
y'all
Monday.
later. I gotta go a piece to the missus.
All right. See y'all
Y'all
later.
Y'all have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Carmen, you gotta end the live.
She got it still running.
She does. She just like completely left the
Did
live.
she leave? Did she leave?
She did.
In that?
Yes, she
You
did.
You had to get in contact with her to come back and turn it off.
No, I can end the stream, but like, should we just keep talking? Wouldn't that be hilarious? But it sounds like keep going. That is hilarious. So yeah, guys. Hi.
What's up, everybody? Zach never came on. He trolled the stuff. I might be able to. And he was back in chat since he said that too.
Unbelievable. Zach is just unbelievable.
Zach stood us up.
He stood us up. I'm not surprised though. Welcome to Gabby's stream. Yeah, Carmen said she hijacked her mom's YouTube and then she left the live, and now me and Flash Fan hijacked her live. Poor Puddle Town.
It was cool being on here though. I'm kind of getting used to it. At first, I was nervous being on streams.
Yeah, I mean, me and Carmen always get nervous at first, but it's like once you're on and you start talking, you sort of just like get into the swing of things. I come to.
That was cool. I did my research today.
Oh, for your serial unaliver?
This gonna make me mad. I'm trying to get mad on stream. But I can't make no promises.
Yeah, I have to do research for my next one. My next state is going to be the first state I did was Massachusetts.
You did a case already?
No, I haven't done it live yet, but
I missed it.
No, I haven't done it live yet. I was waiting for Carmen to do her grandma one that she did today because she wanted to kick it off. So she did that. I did Massachusetts, like that's all set and ready to go. And then my next state I'm gonna do is New Hampshire.
Cool.
I have a couple of people.
I hope at some point you do Jesse Pomeroy.
You were talking to me about that. Is that the younger kid?
Yep, 12-year-old serial unaliver.
From Massachusetts, right?
I believe so, yeah. This is the 1800s.
Yeah, the lady that I'm doing from Mass is from the 1800s as well.
Oh, wow.
And then the guy I'm thinking about doing for New Hampshire is also from, I believe, the 1800s as well.
Wow. I know cases don't get covered, so that's definitely one of the like unknown ones. Man, Freeway Phantom 71, 72. I'm torn between Baltimore and Florida next with the Black Widow. That's 80s, and Baltimore is from the 90s. The dude that made his victims into hamburgers and sold them to people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm like that. There was also a person I could talk about this case because nobody has. That's a different country. There's a lady in I want to say Australia who apparently turned her victims into soap and cake.
You know what? I sort of vaguely remember this.
Her name was Catherine Knight.
That is strange.
And
That is strange.
over there, they don't have like life sentences. So I think she got like 20 years. I was like, they definitely should be a steeper penalty for that.
Puddletown.
Oh, damn. That I was thinking about a title for that, like the real life hamburger.
Yeah, right. That's funny. Well, I think too, like, you know, AJ was talking about, you know, when you're researching the state that you want to do, do the ones that aren't, you know, very well known, like Massachusetts. Everyone thinks of the Boston
Strangler. Yeah.
Yeah. And I could have done him, but I found this other one, and I was like, I'm going to do that one.
See, with the Freeway Phantom, nobody really talks about that much because the person was never caught. The Black Widow, I don't think they.
What state is that out of? What state?
Black Widow?
Yeah.
Florida.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't get, I don't think, much attention. It's not talked about much from what I've seen. Now, I do know I'm trying to find a clip. I'm scared of clips because I don't want to get her stuff struck like previous videos had done. But the Kenny judge, he originally prosecuted.
We hijacked your live. What?
It is really hard to hear you.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, there you go. You a little bit clear now.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know what to tell you. I've called my mom and everything. It will not stop.
The live?
Yeah.
Oh, did you hit end live?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, because we were just still sitting here and we were just like,
We just started and people chimed in.
Yeah, no, I called my mom.
Well, that's interesting.
Alright, so I'm gonna try it again.
All right. Bye, everybody in chat. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Sorry.